had this thought really like a year and a half ago, but I don't think it was fully front and center in my brain at that time. It was more of a feeling that I couldn't quite identify. I'll say what it is in a second because I finally figured it all out. However, I'm wondering if you'll catch on as I'm leading up to it. March 6th to 23, I'm at a show in Richmond. First band I saw play that night, THULCANDRA from Germany. Black metal with just absolutely insane musicianship. I mean, the guitar playing was intensely intricate, and the drums were fast as hell, and the singer was on double duty because he was playing lead too. Next up was WOLFHEART from Finland. I almost want to say this was a night of exceptions because WOLFHEART's described as one of those melodic death metal bands, a genre which, other than At the Gates, I really don't listen to because, like, it's just not my thing. But I became a fan of WOLFHEART that night just because they were so awesome, and honestly, in my opinion, they really don't remind me of that Gothenburg sound a whole lot. But similar to THULCANDRA, I was once again amazed by how technical their playing seemed, even though they're not a tech band, because my imagination is that playing those riffs, and particularly how well coordinated and well aligned each musician was with each other, that fucking cannot be easy, man. Like, you gotta be seriously locked in with each other to be that tight. And then next, and this is really where the thought that I was talking about started from, also from Germany, as a matter of fact, the same singer and the guitar players, THULCANDRA, a bunch of absolute mad scientists, psychopaths, holy shit, OBSCURA. Dude, that band is on another planet in terms of playing ability. Yes, their tech, once again, a genre I usually ignore. Like, I'm not really into bands like GORGUTS and CYNIC and MESHUGGAH. I mean, maybe if you want to call SADUS' later stuff technical, I like them, but for about 45 minutes, I watched these dudes just absolutely blast the crowd with this just like out of this world kind of shred that, I mean, look, I've seen ERIK RUTAN live before with Hate Eternal and virtuosos like Buckethead and Bumblefoot and KARL with NILE, all that. So I'm no stranger to seeing some of these lunatics perform magic with their instruments right before your eyes. But it was honestly OBSCURA that made me start wondering about all this. And then finally, the headliner that night, and last week's review of Opera is what really tied it all together, FLESHGOD Apocalypse. Obviously not a tech band, but how they do the shit they do, no fucking clue, man. Frankly, sometimes I wonder how it's even possible. So it finally hit me. I was like, for as unbelievably difficult as playing this stuff's gotta be, how come music that we know as extreme heavy metal isn't being taught in schools, like in their music classes? Now, certainly no 10-year-old that picks up a guitar for the first time is gonna be able to play individual thought patterns, death. But regardless, shouldn't a skill level like that be something that kids aspire to reach? Side note quickly, so I don't sound like some out-of-touch asshole. Yes, I'm fully aware younger kids ain't big on metal or rock these days. Hell, their music teachers probably aren't either. But that fact alone is even more muscle for the case I'm trying to build here, I think. I mean, kids are not even being specifically taught. I know they're not teaching young kids super complex math in early grades, because that stuff comes later on in the form of like advanced classes in high school when you start having options as to what sort of coursework you want to have. And then in college, it's its own major. But roles in life like mathematicians, attorneys, scientists, and all that, those are occupations that the teachers present as a gold standard for achievement because of their difficulty level. Another side note to address, something that you may be thinking right now. Perhaps you might have just wondered something like, is he asking why being a professional musician, specifically one that plays technical death metal, isn't regarded more highly while the scientist and the doctor route is? Well, yes, partially, but only partially. And then maybe now you're thinking, well, that's easy, it's because there's no money in it, to which I say, yes, I know. However, it still remains true that many both public and private schools in the US and abroad, probably more abroad, have music class, just like gym or art. So my first question stands. If people like Bach and Beethoven are taught to be real examples of what a master musician is, why the fuck isn't STEFFEN from OBSCURA, or ERIK RUTAN, or IHSAHN and SAMOTH, Emperor, Jack Owen, 6 Feet Under, or Robert Vigna, Immolation, or Buckethead, or hell, KARL, NILE? I mean, those guys, they are out of their minds, are they not? Have you heard some of the shit they play? Because all due respect, but each one of those guys absolutely beats the living dog shit out of Bach and Beethoven and any of those other mad scientist sort of composers from 300 years ago. Just beats the piss out of them in terms of both what they can do with their musical instruments and arrangements. So the second question, basically the title of this video, why are they not respected as much? Or more generically, why isn't metal respected more? And I think no matter how you slice it, no matter how much more friendly it may appear society's getting to things once considered unusual, I think the answer is just fucking listen to the sound of it, you know? Think of every aspect of what makes heavy metal metal. So yes, perhaps the most resounding reason is its sound, the only reason any metalhead is a metalhead. And under that umbrella, you got subgenres like brutal death metal, porno grind, noise, power violence, black metal. You got famous bands within their respective scenes with names like Anal Blast, Bathtub Shitter, Fuck on the Beach, Unregistered Sex Offender, Crippled Bastards, No Redeeming Social Value, all that sort of shit, man. And obviously, who on earth could forget Anal C? Anal C, we'll call them. So, metal at its nucleus, though I don't think it is or should be a requirement to classify as metal, and obviously it's not since there's trillions of metal bands that aren't offensive, but at its subatomic cellular level, if I'm even saying that right, the sound itself is overall offensive. Yes, I'm even talking about not derogatory bands like Maiden or Grim Reaper. Even their shit's obviously way heavier than any kind of classical composition, you know? And yeah, I know Marshall stacks and Boss pedals weren't around in the 1800s, but still. So I think that's gotta be it. I think the reason metal just ain't respected is for the same reason as anybody else that's normally very loud or scary looking. Like, even though the solo in Black Seeds of Vengeance is probably hard as hell to learn and then to play, the song itself, I don't know, play it to any 10-year-old and they're probably gonna be scared, is my guess. Like, here Aiden, here Paige, you want something challenging to try and tackle? Here's track 6 from the same album. It's called Masturbating the War God. Now, just so there's no confusion, I ain't for a second trying to say that I think it's unfortunate metal's as edgy as it is. I'm just spewing out why I think that society, that which favors harmony and peace, would rather get down with John Mayer than John Tardy, Obituary, or the Beatles than the Beat the Bastards album Exploited, you know? And I mean, also, of course, the look, too. Metalheads tend to be scary, you know? Fucking tattoos everywhere, and piercings and shit, and corpse paint. So yeah, dude, I think ultimately the first and biggest reason why metal just doesn't get the respect you'd think it would is because its sound is very dissonant and frightening compared to like jazz or orchestral or blues or something. Even if the skill level it takes to play it is way harder than any of that other stuff. And thematically and visually, I don't think those are doing it any favors either. But like, so what though? You know, why should its standing amongst the other major genres have any effect on how much you enjoy it, right? Unless there's a song or something that really goes hard at a certain value you may hold, like so much so that it just fucks with you too much, I can understand that being a reason not to fuck with it. But if it's just a matter of it not getting attention on the major world stage, hey, whatever, no big deal. So yeah, dude, I just wanted to pass that along amidst once again being blown away by the playing on the new FLESHGOD Apocalypse, or Jack Owen's guitar work on Killing for Revenge recently, 6 Feet Under. Like, at first I was like, all this stuff seems so hard to play. Why isn't it held with higher esteem? And then I was like, oh right, because the songs like Know Nothing Ingrate and Hostility Against Mankind, or like Seth Putnam shooting heroin on stage. That sort of shit. So what's your take? Am I wrong? I mean, are there other reasons that I left out? Well, let me know. But either way, at this point, I am done and out of here, man. So if you did like this video, cool, maybe you can give it a thumbs up. Or if you just like hearing somebody bullshit about heavy metal, then aim one of those Doc Martens right at that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on Concrete Spew. But until then, stay crazy, psychos.